Welcome to Kelly Minds Her Manners, a podcast about real estate and entrepreneurship with a twist. Here's your host, Kelly Robinson.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Kelly Minds Her Manners. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a few weeks. We took a little break. I had to have surgery. It directly impacted my voice, but can't keep me down for too long. And I am back. And I am so excited that my first guest since being on a break is Marc Hernandez. He is a colleague of mine at Compass in the sports and entertainment division. He's based out of Beverly Hills, and he is consistently ranked in the top 1.5% of all real estate professionals nationwide by the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends report. He has an interesting story. I can't wait for you to hear it. He's full of life and full of energy. He'll talk to us about how some fun things that he did when he was a kid actually lend themselves to things that he's doing now that help his career in real estate. And I can't wait for you to listen to his answers to my Fearless Five at the end and everything in between. Marc is known for being one of the most empathetic real estate professionals in the industry. And that says a lot about him because it is so rare to find that. Please welcome Marc Hernandez. So welcome, Marc Hernandez. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on my show. Marc is one of my favorite colleagues in the sports and entertainment division at Compass. And I'm really excited for you to hear his story today. So, Marc, let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up and what was childhood like for you?
So I was born. I definitely was born. And that was a long time ago. I grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles. There's two main valleys, the San Fernando Valley, where we all know from movies and film and Nick Cage and all of that. And I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, which is about 25 miles due east of Los Angeles. It was very, everything was spread out and tract homes and, kind of post-war, 50s architecture. And it was just a very simple, very, middle-class upbringing. And, I got into the same amount of shenanigans that most kids do in their formative years and had a really good time. I'm glad I grew up there.
Yeah, that's good. You know what? I think there are not enough shenanigans anymore because everybody's just glued to their phone.
I agree. I think we need more shenanigans and more use of the word shenanigans.
You know what? I think we should make that happen. So was there anything from your childhood or growing up that you could look back on now that would would be like an aha moment where you're like, yeah, that makes sense that I went into real estate? Was there anything that you were passionate about when you were a kid that kind of speaks real estate?
In a way, I think I've always been a promoter or I've always been a producer in everything I do. Now, I came to real estate from the entertainment business, and we can touch on that in a moment. I started in the room at United Talent Agency, yada, yada. We can get to that. But I think as a kid, I was always looking to make a buck and do something that entertained people.
Yeah.
And so I had a little band, a little rock band. I had a little Silvertone guitar with a cheap little amp. And we had another kid down the street who was blind, but he played lead guitar like nobody's business.
Amazing.
And then we had another kid that played the drums. And we put together this band and we would pass out flyers to all the homes. I mean, I've door knocked, so I know. And we would, put posters on the telephone poles and whatnot. And my little sister would sell popcorn for $0.25. And I would put together these shows and bring all these people and make things happen. And, and there were often problems, whether it was technical problems or people not wanting to come or whatever, that I have to jump in and say, no, you really got to be here. Da, da, da. And so, I think a lot of those skills really kind of in a funny way indirectly relate to what I do now. I promote, I produce, I bring people together, I solve problems, and I have fun while doing it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. So I guess later we'll touch on that guitar too, because
this guy here?
Yeah, well, the one behind you, but also, your
Silvertone.
Yeah. So So you graduated from USC's Marshall School of Business with a bachelor's in business administration and finance. And then you went on to manage luxury retail space at South Coast Plaza. And then you were servicing entertainment clients at United Talent. And then you went on to lead national digital sales team for Fox Networks Group, American Idol, and Hulu. Not only do those jobs sound extremely demanding, but they also sound really fun.
I'm just getting tired hearing about them. That's kind of a long list. They were fun. Everything, you know what? Everything I've ever done career-wise has been fun. When I was at USC, I did an internship for Allstate Insurance, and I had to calculate like actuarial tables and things like that. That was so much fun. I was in the office under fluorescent light all day long, spreadsheets, and I did enjoy that. But I mean, starting as a commercial real estate broker down in Orange County with high-rise office buildings, I had fun. Then I segued into real estate management, which led me to South Coast high-rise office building real estate management, and then ultimately high-end retail real estate management and property management. In retail property management, I learned how to deal with tenant issues, construction, architectural, legal, leasing, events. We did a fashion show every year or a flower show, doing the catalog that we sent out to all of our, all of the homes in the area that were at a certain income level. I think South Coast Plaza, I get a lot of comments on my newsletter. And I think South Coast Plaza is where I officially learned how to market to women because they were our customers at South Coast Plaza, right?
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And then after that, I said, you know what? I need a bigger sandbox, and I wanted to get into the entertainment business. So I walked from South Coast Plaza and ended up in the mailroom at United Talent Agency. My parents thought I was crazy. And that was a lot of fun, right? Working with actors and writers and producers and the big studios. And then from there, I landed a job. I pivoted into digital entertainment and really landed an amazing job running national ad sales for Fox Television Network and American Idol. And that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I other than, that insurance internship, I've always had fun in everything I've done.
Which is great. And it's also because you have a great attitude, because if you have a great attitude, you can make everything fun. And I'm sure you are fun to be around too, because you're always fun to be around.
I try.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you went from so much commercial real estate background into residential. So what was it about residential versus commercial that enticed you? And why did you pivot from the entertainment world back into real estate?
Well, we have to keep in mind that was kind of a long arc.
Yeah.
Commercial was my very first gig out of college. I was running around with a lot of, my pals whose fathers were real estate developers in Orange County and LA County. And so I took a few real estate classes at USC and then went down that path and had a lot of fun with it. And I thought I was leaving real estate for good when I started in the mailroom at United Talent Agency. And then that gig led me through United Talent Agency. After that, I worked for a management and production company. And then I formed my own management production company called Crescendo Entertainment Group. And You're talking to the group. And I did that for about 3 years until there was an impending writer's strike, and my business kind of started to shrivel up at that time. And that's when Fox came along, and I was really fortunate to land that gig. I really did my homework on it, though, I'll tell you. And then after 7 years with Fox, traveling all over the country, working with my team, pitching advertising, spends and sponsorships. I was let go with about 25% of the workforce. Idol was in its 14th season. Ratings were dropping, and the network had to cut costs. So I was part of that. Of course, it was bittersweet.
Yeah.
The flip side is Fox took very good care of me and the other people that they packaged out. And at that point, I had just had my son, who's now 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, you know what? I want to do something where I'm going to be able to do well, help people, make a good living, but yet at the same time, not be the corporate gig where, I can't, it's hard to get away from my desk just to go see, a recital at school or something.
Right.
And, I just kind of opened my eyes and saw what was going on out there with luxury real estate. And I said, this is like right up my alley.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of connections and contacts and relationships from my, all of my, careers combined. And it was just a real natural, and got my license, passed, and the rest is history. Love
Well, it's also, there's so much congruency between entertainment and fashion and art and film and all of the things that you are, passionate about as a person, and real estate. So it kind of makes a lot of sense.
It does. It really does.
So,
Thank you for that.
So how have your past positions in entertainment helped you with real estate?
Well, when I think of entertainment and the fact that I started in the mailroom, and I started back in, oh my God, a long time ago, 1997, in the mailroom, making $350 a week to be a trainee. And then I made it onto the desk, not physically onto the desk, but to a motion picture literary agent. And I was making $500 a week. So woohoo.
Yeah.
But the thing that comes to mind, Kelly, is that when you're in Hollywood and you're working at a talent agency and you have client requests and client demands, no is not an option.
Yeah.
Right? So as an assistant at UTA, there is a line a mile long waiting for me to fail at that job so that they could step into that position. Yeah. So you can't, no matter how difficult the request or how outlandish or crazy, you just have to perform. And if and that may take, coaxing, persuading, hey, I'll take care of you, I'll take you out to dinner, whatever, you got to get it done. And you have to use your network and hey guys, I need to get this client this. Anybody have any ideas? So I always work with like marshaling my resources to find out who could help me to get that request done. And, nothing's really changed. I work very hard for my clients to this day. I don't take no for an answer for them. And I protect them at all costs. And I will marshal my resources and my network, my friends, to get done what needs to be done.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I refer business to you, because I know that about you. You can just tell. You can just tell you're that type of a person. So can I ask, and you don't have to answer, but can I ask what one of the craziest requests you got? Was?
No, nothing too crazy. Like, certain clients that maybe weren't A-list, but on their way up, they wanted to get into a certain, party or a certain event.
Yeah.
And they're really not on the list, or, they want to get certain treatment at a hotel that's, in, I don't know, France or Cannes, and you just got to figure it out.
Yeah. It's a lot to take on.
Nuts.
Yeah, no, but that's a lot to take on. So, I know this about you, but you've also been, spoken very highly of as a real estate broker who's very empathetic. And I actually have so much respect for that. It's something that I try to focus on myself.
I feel for that. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's so rare. And I always love finding people who deal with people, especially residential real estate, that way. So what is it about empathy that's so important to you in a real estate transaction and dealing with real estate customers, clients?
I think I have a love of people and a love of humanity. And I think there's a lot of discordance in our world, and, a lot of angry people and people that, just have problems with things. We were at the Hollywood Bowl last night and sitting next to a couple, and they were you could just tell they were mad at everything that was going on around, right? But I guess where I'm going with this is I think we all need to understand and learn to understand each other as human beings,
Yeah.
We need to realize that we're in this life together, and it's going to be there will be ups and downs and challenges and whatnot. And I think I come from a place of love versus fear and compassion and kindness. We can touch on it later, but I serve on the board of the Gentle Barn,
Yes.
a 501c3 nonprofit where we rescue and rehabilitate animals from abuse and slaughter. So I'm all about trying to do the thing that makes it's the right thing, and the thing that shows that I understand others and that I want to love and help and support others.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What is the most important thing that you've learned about building the right real estate team? Because you've now built quite a team for yourself.
I have a team of 5 now.
Yeah.
It's grown and it's contracted kind of naturally, but as it continues to build, I've always, I think I find myself to be a good recruiter of people and understand talent.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I haven't ever made a wrong choice. I think we all have.
Yeah.
But I think what I've learned more and more as a team has gotten to this size and continues to grow is you have to really start from a place of good energy. I recruit for energy more than anything. You know, people look at skill set and background and college education and things like this. To me, all of that really pales in comparison with energy, right?
Yeah.
If I can't introduce someone on my team to you and you meet them at a listing or meet them for a cup of coffee or whatnot, and it's not going to be a good fit energy wise, then they should not be on my team. And so I'm really proud of where the team is right now from a point of energy and excitement and optimism and drive. And we are definitely going places.
Yes, you are, for sure. So you clearly have an insider's perspective and lots of entertainment industry experience. What do you think is most helpful to you in working with people in the entertainment industry and also the sports industries?
I'll speak to entertainment, maybe not as much in sports. I don't know that many people in sports, but I'm sure there's some crossover in. I think with entertainment, it's important to be able to demonstrate to the talent that you completely understand their world. And what I mean by that is you have to kind of demonstrate that as they are artists, you are either an artist or have an understanding of art. You have to know their work. You can't take a meeting with a client, say, let's just take an actor, for example, and never bring up the fact that you haven't seen their work. If you're going to take that meeting, then you go home and you watch many of their films or television shows or whatever, and Wikipedia and everything. So you can have that conversation because people like to be proud of that they're proud of, and they like to speak about their work. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't show that understanding and that empathy, if you will, then you're seen a little bit more as an outsider.
Yeah.
And then you don't really blend as well.
Yeah. How do you establish rapport and then loyalty? What works for you?
I think humor is probably my number one. Humor and familiarity. And what I mean by that is I have like this way about me that I feel, and I've been told this is the case, so I can back it up, that I have an ability to take people that don't know me and make them feel as if they know me in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And I love challenging people that maybe are kind of like, they don't want to talk or don't want to open up. And I'm like, okay, let's go maybe I'm obnoxious. I don't know. But if I'm in an elevator with people and everybody's all just like really like closed off, I got to get something going, right? It's just in my nature.
Even in that 30 seconds in the
Even
elevator.
in that 30 seconds, I've got to do something. And it's like, and I can't go on a walk, with like when I go on a walk with my dogs and my wife and my son, it's like, I'm, saying hello to everyone. How's your day? And they're, oh, here he goes. And they're just kind of walking the dog. Right. And so I'm just really full of engagement, and I want to get people to talk. I love to ask questions. And I love to make people laugh. So I think those are probably some of the things that allow me to do that.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you are a very approachable person. You always have a warmth about you. You're very approachable.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true.
You too.
Thanks.
Well, we had fun on that hike, right? And
I know.
Hollywood Hills sign hike. That was a blast.
It was fun. It was fun. And I went back for a hike 2 days later, and I fell in a ditch in Griffith Park. But I have a funny story for you about that I'll tell you later. Okay. So you are also immersed in the art scene. You are an aficionado of sorts in art and film, fashion, and you support the Los Angeles Conservancy, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and the Museum of Contemporary Art. So tell me more about that.
I think I picked up, I've always been interested in art, probably since college, and maybe even a little into high school, but, who knows what I was doing in high school, right? And I think I really started to become very involved and interested in the art when I worked at South Coast Plaza. So I worked for a family called the Segerstrom family, and Henry Segerstrom was the patriarch of this real estate empire in Orange County, right? That had been there, all acres and acres and acres of land that had been there since the 1800s, was lima bean fields. They eventually built a mall with a Sears on it. It wasn't very high end at the time. And then over time, the land became valuable, and then they made it like the Rodeo Drive of the South, right?
Wow.
Amazing, amazing tenants. And I really looked up to Henry. He was such a great leader. He was a fair individual. He believed in quality, not discount. He believed in long-term gain versus short-term gain. He was in it for the long haul, and that's how he led, managed, and even built property. And he was a big patron of the arts. And I was very impressed with him and, him as a mentor. And at that point, I just really started to lean into art. And I've always, even before real estate, I've always, supported by having memberships at LACMA and MoCA and going to events and and now taking my family to events and viewings as well.
That's awesome.
I love the creativity behind art. I tend to like a lot of you can't like everybody, of course, but a lot of the people that go to those events have very similar, interests and tastes. And I like being a part of that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to go to some art events next time you're here. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. I'm the same. I love the art world.
I'll show you the LA art scene the next time you're here. And you show me the New York art scene the next time I'm there.
Done. I'm in. All right. Yes. So we touched on this before, but we've also talked about your philanthropic pursuits. Tell us more about the Gentle Barn, which you and I spoke about on that hike, and also Right Girl.
Yeah. So the Gentle Barn, as I mentioned earlier, we rescue and rehabilitate animals from abuse and slaughter. I've been on the board of directors. I always get this wrong. I think around 11 or 12 years now. Yeah. I literally went to an event with a friend and the founder, Ellie Lax, the co-founder. She co-founded it with her husband, Jay, was giving a speech in a little outdoor amphitheater before you go in to see the animals. And she was talking about how she, rescued her first animal, which was a baby bird with a broken wing. And then from there, taking on dogs and cats into our backyard. Then someone had a sheep and, it just grew. Now we've got 170 animals here in LA. We've got a location in St. Louis and a location in Nashville. And I really have enjoyed that. That's, supporting that group, because I think it's so important to protect and to defend the voiceless, right?
Yeah.
Those that don't, that are just exploited and hurt and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great journey there, and I continue to be on it. And my son Lennon, who's 11, he grew up at the Gentle Barn every Sunday, like coming with Esther, my wife, and I to just spend a couple hours with the animals, hugging cows and brushing a sheep and holding chickens and giving pigs belly rubs and all of that. It's a lot of fun.
I love that.
It really grounds you, right? To just be there with the earth and the dirt and the animals, and just in the wind in I don't have hair, but in wind, wind in your hair, and really kind of get down to what's really, meaningful.
Yeah.
The other
Right Girl
group that I support is Right Girl. And what we do is we support teen and underserved, girls that want to write, and we feel that we can align a mentor with them and help support and elevate their writing, help them get into college or better colleges. And, it could be novel writing, poetry, songwriting, screenplays, whatnot. And I've been on that board for probably equally as long. And
wow.
It's been a great thing being involved with them.
That's awesome. I love that. And I love that your son and your wife are involved in the Gentle Barn too. So you put a newsletter out, which I read. I love it. The Beat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's lifestyle as well as, real estate thrown in, but film, fashion, events, food, stuff in the area. So how can people sign up to get a copy of your newsletter emailed to them?
So I'm building a new website right now. I have one website up if you want to check it out. It's called Sunset Strip Condominiums, or sunsetstripcondos.com.
Yeah.
I think you've checked it out, where you get to drive the car down the Sunset Strip on your computer screen.
I love it.
I had so much fun developing that. And now I'm developing a personal website, and it's taken me a minute, because I don't want my website. I think you know me enough to know that I don't want to do what everybody else does. And I think that's the artist in me, right? Yeah. So I don't want the beautiful, the infinity pool overlooking the city-like views, from the bird streets and all that stuff. And because that just looks a lot.
Yeah.
There should be some differentiation, right? Maybe not huge, but some. And so the website that I'm building now is going to really you're going to be like, what?
I can't wait. I can't wait, because you always do something fun.
It's inspired by a completely different industry I won't even mention, but there will be a sign up there. Long story short, just send me an email right now. I'm just doing it based on an email basis. My email address is marc.hernandez@compass.com, or you can just Google me. You'll find me pretty easily.
Yeah.
.hernandez@compass.com, and I'd be glad to add you. I've had so much fun with this newsletter. I think last week was issue number 64, so just past the year mark. We started. My wife, who's my director of operations, is a big part of it as well.
Awesome.
She's the editor. I'm the publisher, I like to say. So we subscribe to all these different newsletters, and we go, we like that, or she likes that. And then we congregate. And then sometimes nope, that's not going in. I got to keep I got to stay on brand.
Yep.
And she doesn't always like that. But anyway, it's a good team to do that. And, as I was saying, it's grown from, in a year. I think we're at 15,000 now.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, everybody should check it out. We'll put Marc's email and everything else in the show notes so that you can easily find him. His Instagram handle is the Marc Hernandez. The Marc Hernandez. You can find him in the show notes as well. Okay, so now it is time for my fearless 5 questions. You get 5 questions and you have 2 passes. Ready?
Well, well, this will be good. This will be good because, I recently had the honor to spend Shabbat dinner with the Refkins at their beautiful home.
Nice.
And Benice has this game that she plays, or that she leads, I should say, with her guests. And it was so much fun. I want to go back just to play that game. And she calls it press conference.
Oh, that's so fun.
So you sit around with everybody that just, got up from dinner or sitting in the living room and whatnot. And all of a sudden they're like, okay, Kelly, you're up. And she pulls up the clock. You got 3 minutes. And we just start rapid firing. Hey, Kelly, what would you like? Robert's question. What would you want your tombstone to say? Right. He said that a couple times. And then someone else might say, hey, if you could make an impact on the world, what would it be? Or, what's your favorite movie of all time? And so I got a little bit of practice. I hope I'm good at this.
I think you will be. And it's funny when Rob Refkin was on my podcast, one of the questions I asked him was, if his dog could talk, if Cookie could talk, what would Cookie say about you?
Oh my gosh, I got to find out that answer at some point.
Yeah, it's good. Well, you have to listen to it.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so this is one that I ask pretty much everybody just because I love the answer. Everybody's answer is so different. So what is something that most people, you think most people put significant value on in any way, shape, or form, in any capacity that you don't necessarily value or subscribe to?
I think material things, for one, although I do like material things, but I think some people get too overboard with it, right?
Right.
And that's probably one thing. And the other thing is stressing about things. Like people, I don't know if you consider that value.
Yeah.
They place value. They place time, which is value, on stressing about things. And I try to go the other direction because I just think that, life is short and you got to it's kind of like Buddhism, right? Buddhism, when you come from a point of Buddhism, one of the first things you learn is life is suffering, right? Sounds dark, sounds heavy, but if you can get in your mind that life is suffering, whether it's someone, a friend not calling you and you wanted to hear from them, you're suffering about that, right? Or you lost a deal, you're suffering about that. Or you got in a fight with a significant other, you're suffering about. Once you can kind of understand that there is going to be suffering in life, then all of a sudden the suffering doesn't seem like suffering, right?
Yeah.
So I think the same thing with regard to stressing people. It's like people worry about stuff that they shouldn't be worrying about. It's like, let's just get over it.
Well, stressing out just makes the situation worse anyway. It is what it is.
Stress kills people. It really does.
It does.
It's unhealthy and it kills people. So I try not to do that.
Yeah. And I like what you said about material things because I agree with you. I like material things too, but I think the difference between somebody who puts so much emphasis and lets them define it and somebody who just appreciates it, they're two different things.
Let's go shopping the next time I'm in here.
Done. Okay. If you could hang any artist's piece on your wall right now, doesn't have to be your favorite artist. It could just be anyone. You don't need to play favorites because I know you like a lot of artists, but who would you hang on your wall and why?
Ed Ruscha. I like what Ed Ruscha has done with, not only with color and paint, but with graphics as well, and the superimposing of them and how there's, meaning and subtext behind what he places on the work. And that is why.
Awesome. I love that. So I might know the answer to this question, but I want to know more.
I'll let you answer it.
What? No, I don't. Well, I don't know all of it. So do you have any hidden talents? I see a guitar behind you.
Well, I don't know if music is hidden because I do play the guitar. I sing, I take voice lessons, singing lessons every week on Monday evenings. I'm with my vocal coach.
Amazing.
I've always considered myself a B+ backup singer and probably a C- lead singer. So I was just tired of that. And so I'm turning that around. I want to be much better. And so I've learned that the voice is an instrument. You have to prep it. You have to stretch it. You have to work it. And so we're doing all kinds of fun songs from, Eddie Vedder to Chris Cornell to John Legend. It's so much fun. The other thing I'm learning right now is how to DJ, and I've been getting a little help from our good friend Steve Halpern.
Amazing.
In New York. I was there in Williamsburg, and he gave me a little lesson there. I've got the Serato DJ software now, and I'm excited about that.
That is so cool.
But yeah, music, I play a little bit of piano. I play the harmonica. I have an upright bass. And lately my new thing is I want to start learning voices and accents.
Oh, I have a friend who can help you with that.
I want to start, start with all that.
That's super fun. Okay. So you do have a lot of hidden talents, actually, or at least talents that, most people might not know about.
I once came in third place in my 6th grade yo-yo contest. We're only 3 people.
Wow.
It was officially last.
You still won 3rd place though. So
yeah,
I would still take it as a win.
I should have a plaque on the wall.
You should. You should still have the yo-yo. You should dip it in gold. Right. And
there you go.
Okay. So are you a morning person or a night owl?
I kind of get the short end of both sticks because I'm both.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so not much sleep for you.
I love to be, but lately, where is it? I've got the Aura ring. And so I'm taking this bad boy seriously, and I'm really becoming, because again, we were talking about sleep. We were talking about stress. Sleep is so underrated as far as one's health. And to get 7.5 to 8 hours sleep is so important for your body restoratively and health, growth wise. And for years, when I was in other careers and right out of college and whatnot, I would just get 5 hours, right? And it's just not good for you. So I'm up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm no longer a night owl unless I just went to New York City for, I told you, and I had some meetings, and I was out till 3 a.m. right, and had to be up at 8.
Yeah.
So that there's the night owl coming out, but on a day-to-day basis, it's try to get to bed at 9:30, and try to get up at 5, and I do get up at 5:30.
Yeah, I get up early too, but I don't have the talent that you have of being able to rally past a certain time. You can rally. I can't. I'm bad at rallier. Yeah. I start falling asleep standing up. People are talking to me. It's embarrassing. I have to take myself home so that doesn't happen.
All those frat parties at USC came in handy in my later years.
What fraternity?
I was a Lambda Chi Alpha.
Okay. All right.
And the social chairman, go figure.
Oh, I can see that. I was in Zeta. Do you learn better by watching or doing?
I think I learn better by doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Same. Yeah. Same. Yeah. Do it. Got to do it. Watching, I don't know. It's something sparks in my head. I just,
Or we might try learning by watching people do.
Exactly.
We might be onto something, Kelly.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So before we go, I always like to ask this question because I think it's really interesting. Is there anything at all on your mind today that you want to share with the audience?
Lunch.
It's lunchtime for you. Yeah.
Anything on my mind that I'll share something. Transparency. So I've already told everyone here, July 3rd was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All my life I grew up knowing that, 4th of July was the next day. And I kind of this is my weekend. And Tom Cruise's birthday is on July 3rd. Anybody born on July 3rd knows that. And I always knew that Ringo Starr, because I'm a big Beatles fan, his is on the 7th, so only 4 days away. But where I'm going with this is I love and hate this weekend.
Why?
And why I love this weekend, because it's my birthday, because it's the 4th of July, because it's spent with family and fireworks and friends and all that. I love it. But I hate it because I am a workaholic. I love what I do work-wise. And it's the quietest weekend in my life, right? Every year.
Yeah.
And from a work standpoint, No texts come in, no emails come in, no phone calls. People don't want to go see property on the 4th of July weekend. Generally, I mean, it happens occasionally, but it's quiet, and it just bugs the hell out of me. Right? And all of a sudden today I wake up, all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Emails start coming in.
Yeah.
Someone wants to list their property already, and someone wants to write an offer, just like that.
Yeah.
After, but the weekend just drives me crazy.
So you get 2 presents though. So you have to think about it this way. You get the present of peace and quiet, and then you get the present of like the rush of everybody wanting you to, work for them. Yeah.
I think I have to learn to be more mindful about that. Peace and quiet is okay.
I hear you. Right there with you, my friend. Okay. So you can find Marc at the Marc Hernandez on Instagram.com.
You just lost the fan. Doggy just got off the.
Oh, Seamus.
I guess I'm boring.
I doubt that. And you will put all of your websites and everything in the show notes. And I am so grateful for you, for you and for your time and for bringing your fabulous energy to the show today.
You're fabulous. I'm so glad to see this face. I mean, it's so nice to see that smile every time I see you. And I'm so glad to be at Compass with you and in sports entertainment with you. And it's been an honor to form a relationship and a friendship with you, Kelly.
Likewise, Marc. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Anytime.
Okay. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you for watching and listening to Kelly Minds Her Manners. Make sure to subscribe to the show and don't forget to leave us a review to tell us what you liked about the episode. You can connect with Kelly at Kelly Minds Her Manners on Instagram and TikTok or on our website, www.kellymindshermanners.com.